Sometimes the best way to know a place's history is to see it, to touch it, to feel it. Since 1962, the Lahaina Restoration Foundation has made it its mission to preserve historic and cultural artifacts right here in Lahaina, Maui.
With our 6 museums, we have the ability to tell every era of Lahaina history. Lahaina is one of the rare places in the islands that was important in literally every era. Pre-contact, contact, missionary, whaling, kingdom, tourism, plantation. We've always had a role, and with that comes the objects of that time period and the people of that time period. And of course, the closer we are into our own time, the more the memories still live, and we want to capture those memories and capture the objects. We have the Heritage Museum, which covers all eras, and then we have niche museums that focus tight into each specific era. The Baldwin Home Museum would be our missionary era. The Wohing Temple would be our Chinese and sugar era. We have the places, the sacred sense of space, and then we want to protect the objects and the stories that go with those places. Through our years, which are now 59 years, we've reached out to the people and said, do you have things from this era? Can you donate things? Can we borrow things from this era to fill out the spaces in these beautiful museums? When those objects come in, they need to go through a complete process to be able to be put onto display. It's not as simple as taking it into your hand, putting it on a pretty display and putting a label on it. There's a lot of steps in between.
Here at Hale Aloha, we're cleaning items and preparing them for a session. When we enter them into our database so that we will know what the items look like, what they are labeled as. We're in the process of cleaning and stabilizing. It gives me great pride to allow these things to tell the story that they need to. This is a record player. It is likely late 1930s, early 1940s. Easily identifiable because of its presence of what we call bakelite. Those things that have bakelite on them are at or right before World War II time.
How you handle objects changes over time. So when the Malama Hawaii program was put together, and we feel that being in a place, putting your hands on history is the best way to understand history, we were ready. We were absolutely ready to open our doors and invite people in to live history and breathe history through the objects of Lahaina. We get volunteer time, and it's quality time between locals, our staff, and volunteers. So we're hoping that conversation betters us and betters them. It creates a beautiful bridge between people who are visiting and people who live in Hawaii. Easiest thing to do is to go to our website, lahainarestoration.org.
Brought to you by Maui Visitors and Convention Bureau.